Hi everyone, welcome again to Bake Your Way Kitchen. Today we're doing yet another video. We're going to be doing Carmelita Squares. And this is actually a very delicious dessert. I first actually came across it when I visited a Whole Foods when I went to the United States, and it was so good that I wanted to duplicate it. And so I've tried a few different recipes, and this is, I think, one of my favorite ones. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what to do. I've got all my ingredients out right now for the base layer, but before we get to that, you're going to need a greased 9x13 pan and your oven preheating to 350 or 180 degrees Celsius. And simply what this is putting all these dry mixtures, all our base ingredients in a bowl, mixing them till crumbly, and then we're going to put half of it in the baking pan. So we'll get started now. You're first going to need 1 1/4 cups, I think that's about 280 grams of unsalted butter. It's supposed to be softened. Now I put this in the microwave a little bit long, so you really should just have it softened. It shouldn't be really this soft, so I mean, it's still going to work out, but it won't be as crumbly. We'll see. Just, it's better to have room temperature butter. So that's the butter. And next we have 1 1/2 cups of brown sugar. That would be about 315 grams. I'll put that in. That's light brown sugar. You could use dark if you wanted. About 1/2 cup of chopped nuts. I'm using chopped pecans. I think this is about 60 grams. 2 cups of rolled oats. I like to use the large ones because they got a more chewy texture. And this is about 180 grams. Whoa. And then we've got our dry mixture here. So we've got flour and salt, and baking soda. We've got a teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and we have 2 cups of flour, which is 260 grams. So I'm going to put this all in, give it a good sift. That's all you need to do, just to incorporate it. Alright. And now we'll put this in. Now we're going to combine this. Now, I probably should have done this in a few stages, but I'll work with it. It shouldn't take too long. So you're going to just mix this together. If you have a hand mixer, I just didn't feel like it. But if you have a hand mixer, it's even easier to do this. For me, this will take a little bit of time. So I'm going to just finish this off camera, and then I'll show you what it looks like. But as I mentioned, if you have a hand mixer, this will be a lot easier. You simply combine it till it's kind of crumbly. I have the mixture combined, and it's crumbly, as you can see. You can look at the texture, it's very crumbly. Now I'm going to add about 1/2 tablespoon, or maybe about 1/2 tablespoon of vanilla bean paste. If you don't have vanilla bean paste, you can use vanilla extract. And I'm just going to quickly mix this in as best as I can. You could even leave this out, but I just think that the vanilla flavor is very nice in this recipe. Alright, so we have our base. It's as simple as that. And not music base, we just have the dessert base here. Anyway, so what you're going to need to do next is place about half of it. You can eyeball it, or you could even, if you really want to be specific, you can get out your scale and weigh it. I'm just going to guess. You're going to want to put half of the dough on the bottom of the pan here. So I'll show you what it should look like. You're going to want to pour some in, just like so. Okay. I'll start with that, and you're going to want to flatten it out on the bottom layer, and just press it firmly. So I have now flattened it out. As you can see, I've flattened out half the dough along the bottom. So now we're going to put this in the oven anywhere between 5 to 12 minutes. I'd start looking after 5. You want it to be a nice lightly golden brown. You don't want it to overcook. You want it to be nice and moist. So we're going to put this in until you see it's nice and golden brown, and then we'll take it out, and yeah. So while that's happening, we can get on with our filling, which is equally delicious. I'm just going to grab a spatula, which I should have already had out. And in the bowl you use your flour for, it's not a big deal. I've got caramel here. This is about 2/3 of a cup. And this is actually from a local ice cream place that I go to. They make amazing caramel. Yeah, so definitely make sure you go and get really good caramel for this. But if you, just the regular caramel sauce will work, but oh, it'll make all the difference if you use a really good one. And we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of flour and a touch of vanilla bean paste. I would say anywhere up to a teaspoon. I'm using probably about half a teaspoon here. And you just want to mix this together. This is just going to thicken it up a bit more. And we're adding in a little bit of vanilla flavor. And you can even see, the thing about using vanilla bean paste is that you get those specks of vanilla in it, and I absolutely love it. I actually prefer to use vanilla bean paste over extract, even the pods, because I like the convenience of the extract, but I love the specks of vanilla in it. So vanilla bean paste is kind of a cross between an extract and the real deal vanilla pod. And as you can see, I've got the remaining ingredients here. I've got the top part here. So we've got our filling here, and once we put our filling over the top, once our crust or cookie base is done, we're going to put this over the top, add some chocolate chips, and a little more chopped nuts. Now you can roast your nuts. I didn't. It would be nice. It would probably make the taste even better, but I figured, I'm kind of tight for time, so I figured I'd just do it this way. So in here I've got some chopped, or I used a meat banger thing, some pecans and cashews. You can do whatever you want. And you can use as much as you want. I would say around half a cup is plenty. As far as the chocolate chips go, this is a sweet square, as you can probably already tell. There's already a lot of sugar in it, and so if you are using chocolate, I would strongly recommend using a bittersweet chocolate, because you know what? You don't need the extra sugar. Now, you're going to need about a cup of chocolate, or a cup of chocolate chips, and that's about 170 grams. Now, I had about 130 grams of bittersweet chocolate left, and this bittersweet chocolate that I'm using is actually very high quality chocolate. It's a 70% cacao berry chocolate, and it's very good, but I ran out of, this was the last I had, so I had to rip open some of the milk chocolate. But generally speaking, the bittersweet chocolate just does the job. It gives you a strong cocoa flavor. It's not as sweet, but trust me, it's still amazing. So these are pretty much the remaining ingredients. The caramel that we have here, the chopped nuts, the chocolate, and then we have the rest of our crumbly base to put on the top. So I'll show you the next step once our base is done. Alright, so I just took this out of the oven. It's quite hot. So the next step, immediately once this is out, leave the oven on, because we're going to be putting this right back in. We're going to be sprinkling the chocolate over the top and get ready for it to melt almost instantly, because this is very hot. You can see the base has developed a nice color, a nice golden brown color, which is exactly what we want. Oh man, this smells amazing. Cookies are one of my favorite desserts. Chocolate chip cookies, the ultimate thing for me. And if you love chocolate chip cookies, this is the dessert for you, because it's a cookie base. There's really all the primary ingredients in a cookie in here, except eggs. There's actually no eggs in this recipe. So if you know anyone, I know 1 or 2 people actually that actually have an allergy to eggs or a sensitivity, and this would be a good option for them. granted that they're not allergic to other dairy products. Anyway, so we've got that, and then we'll add the nuts. You can add more, less, whatever you want. You can kind of do whatever floats your boat. Now you're going to want to take the caramel, and oh my goodness, wait for it. Try to control. This is kind of the hardest part, I think, because you kind of have to, you want to try to be as, what I do is just simply put dollops kind of in different areas and then spread it out, because it'll just be easier. You want it, I mean, it's not critical to have like a perfect consistency. So I've got the chocolate and caramel on there, and my caramel was just so thick it just wasn't working out, so I just decided to mix the chocolate and caramel together. Couldn't do much about that. So now, boy, it's coming together. I'm just going to be sprinkling this crumble over the top. Make sure you just get your hands in it to make it more crumbly. And we're just going to spread this until it's nice and even. So I've added the crumble top, as you can see, and it just looks fantastic. And I'm telling you, this has been out of the oven for at least 10 minutes, and it smells amazing right now. And this was only in for 5 minutes already. But unfortunately, this needs to return to the oven for, I would say, anywhere between 15 and 20 minutes. Keep an eye on it after 10. You want it to be a nice golden brown color on the top. And yeah, once you see it's a nice golden brown color and looks good, you take it out of the oven. But I'll show you what it looks like once it's done. So I just took these out of the oven and they look fantastic. As you can see, they developed a nice golden brown color. That's what you're looking for. And I'll just try to go a little close up so you can see. The filling's a bit sizzling a bit. I don't know if you can see that from the camera. It looks great. So the next thing is I would let it cool for about 5 or 10 minutes at least, and then you can either put it in the fridge for, you need to have the filling set. You can't cut it into squares yet. As much as I am dying to try these, they need to go in the fridge for, I would say, at least a couple hours. Or if you're trying to fast track this, which is exactly what I'm going to do, I'm going to be putting it in the freezer for probably about 30 minutes to check on it. You just want to put it in either the fridge or freezer till they set, and then we'll cut them into squares. Let's give this a try. It's just crumbling right now, and you can see the chocolate caramel and the cookie. Let's give it a try. It's very chewy, and that chocolate flavor is really standing out. It's very good. I can't get past this chewy element of it. It's very good. I would highly recommend using old-fashioned rolled oats. Makes the world of a difference. I hope you give this recipe a try, and I'll see you in the next video.